Hello, welcome to this update for the Atlantic. So let's see what's happening. So, still nothing in the next 48 hours, but in the next 7 days, we might have a system trying to form in the Caribbean. So, we have already an orange area for the next 7 days. So, they say a broad area of low pressure is likely to develop over the southwestern Caribbean Sea in a few days. Gradual development is possible. A tropical depression could form late this week or next weekend when the system begins to drift northward or northeastward over the southwestern, south central Caribbean Sea. So be aware that this might try to affect parts of Hispaniola, Jamaica, or some areas. It was at 30% earlier today, so now it has increased. So be aware. We have on the Eastern Pacific the remnants of Christie. There are like there are barely any clouds left with Christie, and we have this area at an 80% chance there might form the middle of the ocean and remain there away from land, and there's this area 20% chance they might try to form there as well. So yeah, be aware. Let's see here. So we have some models for what might happen. So there's the GFS. It does try to spawn something in the southwestern Caribbean by November 1st, very close to South America, and then it like drifts towards the Dominican Republic and near Puerto Rico, and then goes away into the Atlantic. But the GFS does some weird things. It takes it back into the Bahamas, and then over Cuba again into Central America, and once again into the Gulf. So there'll be a very radical track, but it also has another system spawning by the other side of this and turning into something in the Atlantic. So, but this is just one model run. This scenario could have many scenarios. So let's see. There's the 6Z GFS from earlier today. It also spawns something there, but if this one forms two systems, forms one north of Puerto Rico, and forms another one near Jamaica, and turns this into a major hurricane almost. But this is the GFS, crazy. So this won't be this strong. There are no indications that this will happen, but it does pass it over the Bahamas and goes away. So better monitor that. There's the European too, which I put more faith into. So let's see, the zero C, it has that broad area of showers there, and it eventually gets a low pressure by November 5th near near Jamaica, but there are a bunch of islands there, might interrupt this forming. So the European still doesn't have any consolidated system, but the Canadian has like that area of showers there, starts organizing. The Canadian even has a hurricane there coming out of that, and this would be a very concerning scenario, because if it gets to that strength and goes into the Gulf, that will be very dangerous. But this is just one model, and the Canadian can go crazy sometimes, so don't mind that. But the zero Z Canadian had something forming there and heading like near Central America. So the Canadian and the GFS are definitely forming something. The icon has still a broad area of showers there. And then it tries to form something, but not really. So the icon doesn't have any consolidated system yet. The Navgen has like that broad area there, and then eventually tries to get a low pressure near the Turks and Caicos, and another one near Hispaniola. So those are the two areas like to watch. The main area to watch is this one down in the Caribbean, but some models show something with this one as well near the Greater Antilles. So we will monitor both, but the main one is the Caribbean there. But let's see if there's any like the ensembles what they are thinking about this. There's not much support yet, but let's take a look. There's the European 240 hours. This run does the 0Z and the 6Z has a little bit more support. So this is like Sunday 12Z, yeah, because the 12Zs are already out. So let's see. So it has more some members going near the northwestern Caribbean, some other ones curving this towards Hispaniola, and some near Jamaica and Cuba. But it has more support than it had this morning. So like the 0Z this morning also had support. Yeah, so similar amount of support, but it also had this other system just north of the Greater Antilles. So yeah, we'll monitor that. But let's see here again. So the Europeans definitely onto something. Nothing crazy yet, but those ensembles are definitely trying to form something. There's the GFS, which has tons of support. It has like many members there showing like tropical storm, even hurricane strength near Jamaica and Cuba, especially like Hispaniola has a member or two going to the northwestern Caribbean. So the GFS has definitely something forming there. Many members have something forming. Then it has some stuff lost in the Atlantic too, and a little bit of support on the Eastern Pacific. So yeah, be aware there. We'll, we'll keep monitoring there, the Caribbean. So let's just see the Eastern Pacific for curiosity. So with that system forming, uh, most of it stays south of Hawaii. If it even manages to go all the way there, because yeah, the wars and everything, but nothing crazy. Just show some stuff near Central America to watch, like a member or two, but it's mainly okay there. There's the European. He does keep everything south of Hawaii and has a finger or two near Mexico, but nothing crazy. It definitely has way more support in the Atlantic for the system, the Caribbean there. So yeah, be aware. And now, like the tropical depression probabilities and tropical storm probabilities, it does have like these are the tropical storm probabilities from the European model. So the 31st still nothing, November 1st some extra tropical stuff, second, third, but it's November 3rd it does have some probabilities near Guatemala on the Pacific, and November 4th, only on November 4th it starts getting some probabilities in the Caribbean. So like November 4th, November 5th, some 10 to 20% near Jamaica, and then November 6th, a bigger area there, November 7th, so it still has only 10 to 20% tropical storm probabilities, the European, so it's still showing something very weak and almost nothing. But like the tropical depression probabilities are right at 70% near Panama and Colombia, but that area usually has a glitch sometimes, so let's see what will happen later. So it has like November 2nd, some 50% probabilities there, the southwestern Caribbean, and it goes to like a 70% by November 3rd. So this might be the prime time, like November 3rd to November 5th, maybe. And then it remains at a 60% November 4th and drifts towards the Greater Antilles and potentially some other areas. So it does have some decent tropical depression probabilities too. So we'll definitely keep monitoring there, but just be aware near Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, that this system might form into something there. So the rainfall until November 1st, it does have more rain across the northeastern Caribbean, so this will be like the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, close to 100 millimeters, the European has. Near Anguilla and St. Bart's, it's like 91 millimeters. Near Antigua and Barbuda, some 58 millimeters, so definitely more shower and thunderstorm activity there. This is until October 31st, and this is until November 1st. So during like from October 31st to November 1st, there'll be that increased activity. So this like the accumulation from the 31st to the 1st, so it shows that wave of heavier moisture there. So be aware. But it's just one run. This might change. It shows a little bit drier near Trinidad and Tobago in some areas, but some thunderstorms and showers near Guadeloupe, Barbados, St. Lucia, and other areas. So be aware. Dominican Republic does have the northern coasts close to 100 millimeters, like some 105, 90 millimeters, maybe more thunderstorms. Shows northeastern Cuba still at like 104 millimeters. Jamaica still nothing crazy, but still show like some 17 millimeters, 97 millimeters on the immediate coast. So be aware, some passing thunderstorms, some disturbances there. Shows in the Cayman Islands, some passing showers and thunderstorms. And still in Costa Rica, like most of Costa Rica, will get like more than 50, 60 millimeters in most of Costa Rica, more than 100 millimeters, like northeastern Costa Rica, parts of the Pacific too. So be careful there. A lot of heavier showers and storms in Costa Rica from time to time. In Panama too, there are sometimes those like convective bursts with a lot of showers and thunderstorms, especially in Panama, show like 100 millimeters, some 85 millimeters, 90 millimeters. So be aware there. Uh, let's see, for example, in the satellite now, this is what I was talking about, those big bursts of thunderstorms that happen in Panama, Costa Rica, and those areas. So be careful with those storms. So let's see, shows more showers in Honduras, more thunderstorms too. Some in El Salvador, not as much, but does show some more showers, thunderstorms there. Belize and Guatemala are still pretty active, so like 114 millimeters. Southern Belize, 96 millimeters. So be careful. Still some periods of heavy rain, and yeah, a small flood threat. So be aware. And like the Yucatan, more than 60, 70 millimeters. Southern Mexico, some 75 millimeters. Some areas, some more showers and storms there. So be aware. Some showers the Bahamas, some storms the Turks and Caicos. So yeah, be aware. The GFS does have this area of moisture bigger on the Caribbean there. It's like 179 millimeters in Panama, southern Panama close to 153 millimeters into Colombia. So be careful there according to the GFS, like 113 millimeters. But the GFS like forming the system pretty rapidly there, so this is why it has so much accumulation. If this doesn't form in this way, this rainfall will be different there, like the European is showing different. So be aware. But generally in all scenarios there will be a lot of heavier showers and storms in that region. And then it shows like the icon has a lot in the oceans there, more showers and storms in Costa Rica and Panama, and it has also in the northeastern Caribbean more than 100 millimeters in the Virgin Islands. It has near Dominican Republic a lot as well. Like the GFS for this area, the GFS supports us 200 millimeters in the Virgin Islands until November 1st. So this would be very crazy, like a big flood threat. Nothing extraterrestrial, but like way more than we had like the last few weeks and everything. So yeah, be aware. Dominican Republic has close to 100 millimeters as well, and near Jamaica, Cayman Islands, some more too. So in terms of rainfall threat, I think the prime areas for concern right now are near the northeastern Caribbean later this week, and most of Central America, but especially like from Nicaragua to Panama and Belize and Guatemala. So be aware those areas. But generally in all those colored areas, there might be some heavy showers and storms. So be aware. There's also the Canadian model if you are interested. So like total precipitation. So this until November November 2nd, it has like more than 100 millimeters in northern Guatemala, more than one like 90, 100 near northern Honduras, parts of Nicaragua, but especially Costa Rica. It has upwards of like 150 millimeters in Costa Rica and Panama there. The Canadian has a little bit less in the northeastern Caribbean. It has just like 50 to 100 millimeters, not even 100, like some 50 to 70 millimeters northeastern Caribbean. But it does have more near Cuba and Jamaica and some areas. So be aware there. So we let's just see like something else, the European. So like here, So so it does show that moisture there. There's some dry air in parts of the Gulf, so now there's some dry air, but it does show the moisture building there. So not much dry air in its way, but it does show maybe some dry air near Cuba. They might affect this system, but nothing that crazy. There's like the wind shear too. There's a lot of wind shear in the Gulf there, and some others, but the Caribbean is quite fine still. Shows that thing trying to form. Shows more wind shear November 1st over the Greater Antilles, but it might weaken later. So yeah, this has some moderately favorable environment to farming. So be aware. We will keep monitoring this, and